Dear student, good afternoon. My name's Luke, and in this tutorial we're going to talk about my DLP, its different sections, and how to complete it per chapter as the course advances. I'm going to base this tutorial on book 6, but it's exactly the same for the other levels. You'll just notice that the images and some of the titles change. So to start, if you haven't done so already, you need to download the DLP document. You can find it here in the section My Portfolio, then clicking on the link here. In this case, I already have my document ready. So first, we'll just summarize very briefly the sections again. So my language passport, a representation of different language skills and intercultural experiences in and out of school. My language biography, a personalized learning diary showing specific achievements in language learning. And finally, my dossier, a record of work in languages which you can update during the course. So to begin, the first section is my passport. In this case, you complete my passport in chapter 0, but if you haven't done so or want to make any changes, you can do this in the main file. The second section is my biography. Again, we completed the first part of this section in chapter 0, where you reflect on your motivations and objectives, your best learning scenario, and your strengths. So if you haven't done so, it's important to complete these sections. But what we're going to send per chapter are these slides here with the can-do statements for the different abilities. So when we send this document per chapter, we don't need to send all the slides. So we're just going to select these two from the biography relating to the first chapter, and then we'll select these 3 slides from the dossier. Copy, and then I can move them to another document where I'll send the DLP just for this chapter. In this case, I already have my document prepared here, and you can see in this section what you do is read the learning competences or can-do statements as they're called here, and then decide if you already have this competence completely or in some cases if it needs some work. So this is just a self-evaluation. If you still need to work on some of the can-do statements for a chapter, that's perfectly fine. It's better to be honest in your reflection and see exactly where you are with your current skills. So that's all you need to do for the biography. And then in the dossier, you can include the summary of this chapter's abilities and skills and tasks. And then what we'll do in the dossier section, this is a representation of your best work and what you can do in the language. So what you do is select 2 or 3 of your favorite tasks from the chapter. They can be the interactive content, although it's preferable for it to be an original task. It can also be the work you sent from the homework bins, or it can also be, for example, the live class. In this case, I've just selected 2 tasks from this chapter. So what we need is the name of the task, a description of what you did, and then just a very brief reflection on your performance. So in this case, good, I can use financial and economic vocabulary easily, for example. Then you can take a screenshot of your work. Again, it's just a sample, it doesn't need to be complete. It's just a visual representation because you can then insert below the file to the original work. In this case, I'm using Google Drive, so you can just obtain the link. One important thing here is to make sure it's available to anyone with the link, and you can set it so it's a read-only document, but it is important to give access to your assessor so that he or she can evaluate your work. Also, if there's an audio included, you can insert it into the PowerPoint document, and with that, we can save it, return to the platform. My DLP is always the final task, as it's a self-evaluation and reflection, and then you just send it to the homework bin. One final point here is also remember to take the completed slides from the partial submission and then copy them back into your master file. So this is the final version of the document that you'll send as the integrated product for the course. So remember to update your master file with the entire document, but also just to send the selected slides for each chapter. Thank you for your attention. I hope that my DLP is clearer now, and I look forward to seeing your work in the homework bins.